is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Father's Day. Tonight we begin with a new diplomatic push aimed at cooling tensions with China. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Beijing Sunday for 2 days of high-stakes talks. It's the first U.S. diplomatic mission there in 5 years. CBS's Margaret Brennan is traveling with the secretary in Beijing and leads us off tonight.
Jerika, after more than 5.5 hours of intense and very direct talks between Secretary Blinken and his Chinese counterpart, there was at least one point of agreement: try to stop the downward spiral in this relationship before the two countries veer into conflict. Secretary Blinken and Foreign Minister Qin Gang, a close ally of President Xi Jinping, tackled a long list of grievances. The U.S. goal? Open communication channels to avoid a military clash. Tensions spiked last summer when then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. And again in February after the spy balloon shootdown. China's defense chief refuses to speak with U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin at a time when Beijing is massively expanding its nuclear arsenal. Miscommunication risks a clash. Last month, a Chinese warship came within 150 feet of slamming into an American ship transiting the Taiwan Strait. And in the South China Sea, a Chinese fighter jet buzzed the U.S. Air Force. The divide runs deeper than a failure to communicate. Blinken also pressed authorities to crack down on the flow of fentanyl. That drug is now the #1 killer of Americans under the age of 50. After months of giving the U.S. the cold shoulder, this opening from Beijing may signal an interest in reducing friction, at least on the financial front. The U.S. and Chinese economies are so intertwined. On Monday, Secretary Blinken will meet with a top party official who oversees foreign policy, and if all goes well, he may get a face-to-face with President Xi Jinping. Jerika?
Yeah, so many issues to address. Margaret Brennan in Beijing, thank you. President Biden spent Father's Day in Delaware. This week, the president heads to California as his reelection efforts take on a new urgency. CBS's Skylar Henry is at the White House this evening with those details. Skylar?
Hey, Jerika, good to see you. Well, the president is certainly picking up his campaign pace amid some criticism that he's moving too slow, nearly 2 months after announcing he's running for re-election.
President Biden will announce a more than $600 million investment to combat the climate crisis during his West Coast swing. He'll also attend a few fundraisers. Mr. Biden rallied with union workers Saturday, 1 day after the AFL, CIO, and other major unions endorsed him. He was in full campaign mode, highlighting the administration's achievements.
Most importantly, we're not only changing this country, we're transforming it.
In his speech, he never mentioned his predecessor. However, other GOP presidential hopefuls did, concerned about the federal charges facing former President Trump.
There's some very disturbing conduct in there, including the showing of these documents to other people that were not cleared to be able to see them.
But some Republicans are accusing the president of politicizing the Justice Department.
To see a former president of the United States be subject to an indictment by the administration of the current president, that sends a terrible message to the wider world.
Despite his legal troubles, recent CBS News polling still shows Trump well ahead of the growing list of GOP challengers, looking to leapfrog him and get the party's nomination.
That same CBS News poll shows around 42% of Democrats don't think President Biden should run again. Officials tell CBS News the president is slowly building out his campaign staff and that it'll take some time before a full team is in place. Jerika?
All right, Skylar Henry for us tonight at the White House. Thank you. Well, gun violence erupted in several American cities this holiday weekend, bringing the total number of mass shootings so far this year to over 300. CBS's Elise Preston is in Los Angeles with more on that. Elise?
Jerika, much of that violence happened at parties crowded with teenagers. Multiple mass shootings where the victims were just kids.
A violent holiday weekend. Los Angeles authorities are on the hunt for the gunman who opened fire at a house party, wounding 8
most of them teenagers.
I know this is graduation season, as well as this weekend we're celebrating Father's Day as well as Juneteenth. We want you to feel safe.
Mass shootings erupted in several communities across the country. Outside Chicago, one person died and at least 22 others were injured after gunshots rang out at a Juneteenth celebration. In St. Louis, the community is heartbroken after one teen was killed and 9 others were shot at a party.
The violence these children experienced last night is intolerable and unacceptable.
So far this year, nationwide, more than 800 children and teenagers have been killed by gun violence. Josh Horowitz with the Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions says firearm homicides are up 45% in the last few years, with guns being the leading cause of death for children and teens. But he's hopeful there are ways to combat the public health issue.
We also think limiting access to firearms in public is important. And of course, investing in community violence intervention programs will pay dividends and save lives.
Horowitz says while it is a balancing act, it is possible to have lawful gun ownership and make the country safer at the same time. Jerika?
All right, Elise Preston on that important report there in Los Angeles. Thank you. Well, today, British intelligence officials reported that Russia and Ukraine are suffering high numbers of military casualties as Kyiv fights to force out the invading troops. CBS's Ian Lee is there.
A happy Father's Day isn't to be found at this cemetery in eastern Ukraine. Oksana's dad, Vitaly Miroshnichenko, died fighting last March. She now visits his grave, along with her mother, Vida, and his comrade in arms, Yevgen, who was near him when he died.
What kind of man was Vitaly?
He was the best father, says his wife, Vida. He was strong-willed like my daughter, and he was my best friend. The pain of his loss still too fresh for her. He called to say he was coming home, says Oksana. We didn't expect this.
Why did your father feel it was important to fight in this war?
He didn't want the Russians to hurt us, she tells me.
Ukraine won't say how many of its soldiers have died in this war. Western officials put it in the tens of thousands. Of course, many of them were fathers.
And more die every day. The UK says both sides are suffering heavy casualties in Ukraine's counteroffensive. The country is winning ground slowly, but painfully, fought for by men like Yevgen, who is also a father.
What has this war been like for your children?
They're worried, he tells me.
What do you hope the future is like for your children?
Peace and freedom, he says.
Is that why you fight?
Yes. So many fathers in this cemetery fought for the same reason.
We saw dozens of freshly dug graves today, and while this offensive is just getting started, no one expects it to be over quickly. Jerika?
And we can hear the sounds of war behind you. Thank you, Ian. The World Bank has warned that war and the pandemic may have set the global economy back by a decade. At the same time, the U.S. economy is showing signs of strength and weakness. Here's CBS's Mark Strassman.
At San Francisco's biggest shopping mall, default is the new black. Westfield Mall's owners have returned the keys to their lender, an unaffordable commercial loan, and a cautionary tale about our economy's next stress test.
There's going to be a wave of defaults along the commercial real estate. The tighter banks are going to get with their lending, which means less credit is going to be available to consumers.
Beleaguered consumers, millions of them.
Cost of living has really increased a lot, so it's getting a little harder to do things that, I would typically do.
Inflation's still high, but dropping. For the first time in 15 months, the Fed last week paused a hike in interest rates. A 30-year fixed mortgage now averages just under 7%, more than a doubling in 2 years. Car loans, rates also now average roughly 7%, a 15-year high. And credit cards, typical rates on existing cards near 21%, the highest since 1994. Here's the flip side. So many Americans keep spending. Big ticket buys like cars may be encouraged by plunging gas prices. This time last year, gas averaged above $5 a gallon, a record. This weekend, about $3.60. Investors also buying. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ have hit their highest levels since April of last year. But the stock market is not the economy, which brings us back to Westfield Mall's drama, what it represents. Banks have about $3 trillion outstanding in commercial real estate loans. More than half that will come up for refinancing this summer. And at today's higher rates, many more borrowers may just walk away. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Atlanta.
West Virginia basketball coach Bob Huggins has resigned. It happened Saturday evening following his arrest on suspicion of drunk driving Friday night. Huggins is not new to controversy. He was suspended for 3 games last month after using an anti-gay slur during a radio interview. The 69-year-old leaves the game as the 3rd winningest Division I men's coach of all time. Well, fire crews in Canada are getting American reinforcements. The U.S. is sending 6 water bombers to Alberta and Ontario. 36 American firefighters are also being deployed. Right now, Canada is on track for its worst ever wildfire season. Well, today, dangerous heat is scorching the South from Texas to Florida. Let's bring in meteorologist Alex Wilson from our partners at the Weather Channel. Alex, good evening.
Jarika, expecting another evening of storms. They'll continue into the overnight, and once again watching for those significant severe risks: hail, gusty damaging winds, even a tornado. Take a look at how things shape up into the overnight hours. Make sure you have a way to get those alerts. Once again, we could see very strong winds and very large hail, so trees could come down, power outages could add up. Across sections of the South Central, the heat is the story. Temps in the triple digits, but feels like values tomorrow as high as 118, Jarika.
Wow, almost unbearable. Thank you. Well, that's an abbreviated edition of the CBS Weekend News for this Sunday. I'm Jarika Duncan in New York. Thanks for watching and happy Father's Day. Good night.